thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you take a minute to tie up the game against UCF, please, and we expect to see you to get back on the field Saturday at Tulsa.
Yeah, played a really good football team in UCF. They played really good offensively like they always do. But then I was impressed with their defense, forcing 5 turnovers, 3 of them inside our 25-yard line. That ended up to, kind of breaking the game open in the third quarter. Up until that point, we played really good on both sides of the ball. But once you let those turnovers happen, especially on the negative side of the field, against a really good football team, it's hard to overcome. Our kids fought till the end like they always do. I think we outgained the number 1 offense in the country, yardage-wise, but, giving up 5 turnovers is something that we've got to correct. Our kids are focused on it. They know they've got to do a better job and are committed to it. And defensively, we've got to, still focus on creating turnovers to give our offense some, favorable field position as well. Still got a lot to play for. Just got done with a really good practice, really spirited practice. So our leaders, even the juniors and sophomores that are the bulk of our starters, are doing a good job leading to make sure that we send the seniors out the right way in their last regular season game.
Any questions for Coach Geoff Collins, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
We'll go next to Sean Pastor with Alice Daily.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Geoff. Was curious if you would share sort of how you plan to split the reps at quarterback this week between Frank or Logan or Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, same as we always do. Frank will get the reps with the first team offense, and then Logan and Anthony will split time, with the second unit.
Okay. And then on the opposite side, preparing for, they got, Tulsa potentially got 2 different quarterbacks in there who are a little bit different in, what they kind of are better at. How do you kind of just prepare for those 2 guys?
Yeah, and I mean, they've both started at times during the year, so they've both played, legitimate snaps against really good competition. They're both quality athletes. And they do a great job. They've got a really good running game, and they've got a 6'4" wide receiver that's putting up really good numbers. He's a really good player. I think their offensive line does a really nice job as well. So we've got to be prepared for everything. But the style of offense that they play, they spread you out from sideline to sideline to get to identify how you're counting the guys in the box. So we got to do a great job with disguise and give them different looks throughout the game.
Okay, thanks.
We'll go next to Mark Narducci with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Geoff. I take that to say that Frank will be starting this week. I mean, it sounds that way. If not, you can correct me. But what when you guys looked at the film, what did you see the reason for the turnovers?
Yeah, there were 2 balls that were 50-50 balls. And we've got great confidence in our receiving core. So there were 2 balls that were just 50-50s, and they ended up making the play. Obviously one of them we would have loved to have a back shoulder. The other one needed a little bit more over the top. But those are 50-50 balls to, we've got great confidence in our receivers, and I know Frank does as well. On one of the picks, we slid the running back, brought the Mike linebacker right into the slant window. So, obviously, I know Frank wishes he could take that one back. But, got to give credit to UCF. They did a nice job. They were dropping 8 a bunch in coverage. So they were, flooding the underneath lanes and then keeping on top of our really good wide receivers as well.
Do you notice Frank seems to be a confident kid? Do you notice this, like when he went in to look at the tape, was he shaking it off in that effort? Has he shaken it off? Just how do you see him?
He's a confident kid. All the kids on the roster have complete, belief in him. He's harder on himself than anybody else can be. So he's taken it. He's looked at it. He's evaluated it. He's very self-critical. And, I think that's a sign of a great leader as well. And so he was out there today, coaching up the guys, pushing the guys, motivating the guys. So he does a great job.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go next to Dan Tortora from wakeupcalldt.com.
Hey, Dan.
Coach, can you hear me?
A little bit. It's breaking up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay?
Still, a little bit, yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to say, speaking of bowl eligibility, as far as, how important this last game is at 5 and 6 and still an opportunity to move forward into the postseason and get those extra practices, just what you can say about the level of importance and intensity for this game moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, every week we treat the same, and we don't, change week to week. We give our best effort every single day, complete focus in everything we do to try to go 1-0 every day, try to go 1-0 every week. But obviously we know that, the implications for bowl eligibility. We know the implications for sending this senior class that we all love out as the all-time winningest team in school history or class in school history. So all those things are relevant and they're real. But, if you don't take care of every day and every bit of preparation and look past all that to those other things, you set yourself up for a risk. And so we're just staying in the moment, working hard every single day. The juniors and sophomores know that they've played a lot of ball. I think we've had 41 different kids start games this year, which I haven't been around as a coach. So a lot of young guys are playing a lot of ball for us. And, the juniors and sophomores, are learning a lot. So they know they can be special moving forward after all the lessons they've learned from this great senior class. But they really are committed to sending this group out the right way and giving their entire effort, to play great on Saturday against a really good Tulsa team.
And then as far as the adversity that you have faced this season, just what you can say it's taught you as a coach in your first season with Temple and just what you've really kind of, looked in the mirror and seen back at you as you move forward.
Well, the big thing that we talked about the entire offseason was that, a lot of the young guys that are in the bulk of our roster haven't had a lot of adversity, hadn't faced a lot of the pain that some of our senior class has, the 2-10 and the 6-6 seasons. They never experienced that, never had that pain that comes with, losing games that you should have won. Obviously, we hate that we had to go through that, losing some really close games that we know that we should have been in position to win. But the level of pain that's associated with that, in some ways it's great for a young team to go through that to make sure moving forward we don't experience that again. Played great for 2 weeks, against Navy and against Cincinnati. Really played good against Army too, just couldn't win in overtime. So we've got a good football team, and heading into this last stretch, everybody, the focus was we knew we had to win 3 out of the 4. Obviously, you always want to win 4 out of the 4, but all the goals that we had set out, are still intact and moving forward. The leadership and the experience that's been developed by all of these, guys playing a lot of good ball for us, is going to help in learning from this great senior class.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Donald Hunt with the Philadelphia Tribune.
Yes.
Hey, Donald.
Coach Collins, how you doing?
Great.
That's great. Listen, I know it was a tough loss on Saturday to UCF, but can you talk a little bit about David Hood, who picked up 81 yards for you on 12 carries and seemed to find the crease at times? Yeah,
and the same thing with David. Our kids are, very mature. They the first thing he came through, he looked at all of his runs. He probably left another 50 or 60 yards on the table because there were 3 or 4 runs that he didn't run the exact right track that he should have run to give him, even some more yards and some, moving the ball a little bit better for us. I know, he takes that very seriously. He's very, very critical in himself, but very talented kid. He works hard. He's a great guy to be around in this building every single day, always comes to work. And really proud of him and how he's, showed out this season. Rockwell has been banged up, and, even though he comes and tries to fight as hard as he can to play for us, got to respect kids like David Hood, Rob Ritrovato for stepping up, when we've, had nights or had Rock banged up at times throughout the year. So really proud of those guys.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Coach.
And we'll take one more for Coach Collins, please.
We'll go next to Evan Easterling with the Temple News.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Geoff. How are you?
Great.
So I was just wondering if you had an update on Ventel Bryant.
Yeah, it's still banged up. He was getting an MRI this morning to see what's happening. So maybe we'll know more by tomorrow. Hopefully the latest on Wednesday. And the same thing with Isaiah Graham Mobley. But it was good to have Jovan Fair, who's been out for I think 8 weeks, back playing a lot of ball for us on Saturday versus UCF. And then BC Brian Carter went out during the game as well, so we're hoping he'll be back for Saturday also. But hopefully I'll know more. We just got done with practice literally 12 minutes ago, so hopefully we'll have an update this afternoon, if not tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for your time, not only today, but during the course of the season. Best of luck to you.
Absolutely.
The way. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the Owls.
All right, thanks for all you do.